Hello, Ashley. Here is just a few pointers that I thought I might include in a presentation or talk if you were to ask me to come next Friday and talk to your colleagues. Just some outline points which can add to or take away. The first thing is think that I'd start off the presentation by thanking them for the job that they do. Thank them for taking on the awesome responsibility that they have as educators to help to shape, develop and equip young people of today to go out into life, to go out into their world and to find their success and their happiness. And I'd like to take the opportunity to point out to them and to thank them for the fact that what they do is massive. The implications of what they do, how they come across, how they inspire is just a hugely important role in society. I think I would like to touch base on the difficult environment in which they are working on at present, dealing with change from the two colleges coming together and from the economic problems and demands that are on them at the moment in the education business, which can lead to anxiety, worries and stress in their roles currently and possibly going forward into the future. I think I'd like to put a few things across for consideration. With regard to change, I would just point out that the one constant in life is change, and that change is going to happen to everyone, everywhere in the world, every day. And that the advice from me, that what I've learned is the best way to deal with change is to accept it and to go with the flow and not to fight it. An example I would give would be the tallest, strongest tree in the forest. If that tree doesn't go with the ebb and flow of life, with the changes in wind directions, if it doesn't bend and go with the flow, if it wants to stand tall and rigid and stand up to that flow of life, the tallest tree will just snap and break. And it can be the same for a human being. So the advice is to accept change, to embrace change, and to look forward positively. I think I'd touch base on the team, on the sense of team, and to make the point that the team is only as strong as its weakest member, its weakest player. And that in adversity, some people in a team can view change as adversity. And the best way for a team to deal with adversity, with change, is to stay together positively, keep belief, faith and hope, and go forward positively. It's important that in a team you talk each other up and that you do look forward positively. And my advice here would be to avoid pity parties where people come together to say how bad it is, and then we believe how bad it is. So the advice is to avoid pity parties in twos, in groups of people, or to avoid just holding that pity party with yourself in your head. I touch base on life and the fact that in life things happen for a reason. I touch base on the law of attraction, that what you think about will come to you, good or bad, it will come to you, and life does not discriminate between what you want that's good and what you want that's bad. It just says, oh right, that's what you want, and it'll just send it to you. I would touch base on that, and I would give the example about two men that I knew, and it's an example of going forward in life with eyesight or mindsight. Eyesight is going forward, looking back and looking at your present circumstance and seeing that maybe this is how bad it is and it's awful bad, etc, etc, etc. And when you look forward into life with that eyesight, that's all you see for yourself, more of the same. If you're looking forward with mindsight, it's a different thing. You're not looking about your present circumstance or your past. You're leaving that behind and you're looking forward at what things could be. And the example that I would give on this is the story of two men, similar men, both deputy managers in two different businesses, both faced with the same issue that they were possibly going to be made redundant. One man in one store, he did not know this, but if he wasn't made redundant, there was a possibility he could actually be promoted to the position of store manager. But he had this sort of kind of threat of a redundancy could possibly happen to him, and it got him down. He started worrying about it and vexing about it, and it affected his performance, affected how he spoke to people, affected how he came across in business. It turned his performance bad. He became a liability. The business was thinking about letting him go because of it, but it didn't have to go that far because the guy got so down, he just left anyway, and more than likely went forward in life, not to go forward, but to go backwards in life. Another man, same situation, worked in a business, same threat of redundancy, but this man knew his worth, knew he was good, knew that in life that he would be all right. He had experience of life and of the work that he was doing, and he knew that if redundancy came his way, he'd be all right. Somehow life would be all right for him. And he was working in the business, still giving everything that he could give. Now, there were two business people that were going to have a meeting to decide on the fact that they needed to employ a store manager in their business. And they went into a coffee shop in a major supermarket retailer to sit down and talk about what should we do with this employment opportunity. Just so happened that this guy that I'm talking about was a deputy manager, and part of his responsibilities was to oversee the cafe in which they went in to sit down. Now, the man's colleague that he was going to speak with was a lady who had worked in the same business as this other man. They knew each other. And when this guy came out, he saw the lady, recognised her, and just went over to say hello and to, just pass time of day and just to sort of reminisce a bit about the old times, the people that they knew. But he went on to talk about the things that he was doing in his business. The other man, just sat there politely, just letting them just catch up, and was listening intently at this guy as he went on to say about the things that they were doing in the business. He'd just come out of the cafe, about the awards that they won within the business, about the issues that they had, and that in fact they had a training issue in there, and that he'd been in there and he was devising an action plan. He was going to go do this and he was going to do that, and he was full of energy and pride and passion. And then just as he was about to leave, just as he was saying goodbye, in passing, he said, "Oh yeah, by the way," he said, "they've got another round of redundancies, and I think I might be in line for this." Now, the other guy listening was blown away by that. He was blown away by this man's attitude about the fact that he was still giving everything that he had to give to the business that was possibly going to make him redundant. He just didn't care. He was just still in it, going forward with mindsight. Funny thing was that the guy and the lady that was sitting down was me and my colleague. We were so impressed by that man's attitude, and that's what we employ on, attitude, that we offered this guy a job as store manager there and then. And the funny thing is, in life, the reward of going forward with mindsight is that he stepped from one job to another, taking a nice redundancy package, getting himself a promotion and getting himself a bigger salary than he was on before. So it's important that you go forward with eyesight and not mindsight. And lastly, on life, I would just touch based on the fact that things do happen for a reason, and that in my life, I got to the top of the tree in the business that I wanted to work in. Top 4 store managers in a big, huge business, taking, £2 million a week, employing over 750 people. Had the salary, the benefits, the house, the car, the upward mobile career. Then I got sick, got sacked, lost my job. With it, lost my health, lost my self-belief, found myself on that hill up there, Portsdown Hill, contemplating suicide, was going to check out on life. Found 3 things up there, as I said to you. I made a decision what I was going to do, was going to go forward and survive somehow. Found my belief and found my why and went forward and found really true inner happiness and found my success. And the thing about that is change happened to me. I didn't like it. But here's the thing, sometimes when change happens to you and you don't like it, When you look back, you realise that life was doing you a service. It was helping you out. And you look back and think, well, I'm glad that happened. I've known people in the retail business that had redundancies come their way. And when they look back, they're so glad it happened to them because it put them in a different environment. And all I can say about my situation is when life happened on me and I didn't like it at the time and I was down, defeated and on the floor, I would just say, I look back now and you know what? I just wouldn't change a thing. I'm thankful for what happened to me. I touch base on fear and the fact that fear can be an awful thing in your life. It can introduce you to two robbers in your life called worry and anxiety, and they, if you're not careful, can lead to depression. They're two robbers that want to rob you from your peace and your happiness, and you just can't let them in. The thing with fear is when it's often confronted, there's nothing to fear but fear itself, and when it's confronted, there's nothing for it. And with worry, the advice I pass on that someone said to me is don't worry about things until the time is here to worry, because worry is just a waste of time. Sometimes that's hard to do, but that's a piece of advice that was once given to me. Moving on about the day, I think I would like to say in the day that the day is about making your team stronger. To make the individuals, you who are taking part in this day, to make you stronger, to make you better, to make you better equipped to make things happy and actually to make you happier and more successful in your business. And you can, fact is, you can come to this meeting, this day, or you can come to the day. You can be here or you can be here. You can see the benefit or you can see the benefit. What you put into life, you get out. What you put into this meeting, what you take from this meeting is what you get out of it. I'd quote a student from Chichester College that said to me when I was selling books and he came to buy a book from me, and I'd use the quote with them that he said to me, boomed me out of the park. If you do not invest in yourself, if you do not invest in life, you get no return. So this day is about investing. It's about investing in the school business, investing in this college. It's about investing in this team. It's about investing in you for you to go forward and be successful and be happy. And if you do invest, this college will get a return, the pupils in this college will get a return, and you will get a return. And I think I finish by saying that every child, when they look back, and I was a child and I look back, we all have got a certain teacher, a special teacher for some reason. They just had something that resonated with you, that's helped you massively in your life, and you will never forget them. And they hold a special part in your life because they helped you to get somewhere in your life. They did something for you that's still helping you now. And you are in that really privileged position, that position of authority, that position of responsibility when you're dealing with people's abilities and helping them to go forward in their life, for you to be that special teacher in every single one of the pupils that you deal with, in every single one of their lives. Massive, awesome, fantastic. That's it. I think that's some of the things that I would like to include. Maybe you'd like to take some of that out. Maybe you'd like to add to it. But I do think that I could bring something to your day. So Ashley, if you want me to come, just give me an email and I'll make myself available. Thanks very much. Bye.